guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel so weird saying that. I feel like I don't even have a channel anymore. Like I've been gone for so long. But I am happy to say that I feel really good right now. I know that I'm not really looking my best right now. I had a migraine all day today and just, it wasn't the greatest day for me, but I feel really good inside, and I know that that's what matters. So I feel like this was the perfect time. Oh, excuse me. I feel like this was the perfect time for me to make a video because I was gonna go to the gym tonight, but because of my migraine earlier today and just like I've had body aches and stuff, I was like, maybe I should skip it. And then I came home and I was like, I'm just gonna eat something at home really quick, and then if I feel better, I'm gonna go to the gym. So of course, naturally I come home and there was pizza on the counter, so I decided to have a slice of pizza and then a glass of wine, and here I am about to make this video, or making this video. So I just wanted to talk about remembering who you are, because I forgot who I was for pretty much all of last year. I think I just got really caught up in like the speed of life and like growing up. I'm 24 years old. If you're new to my channel and you don't know anything about me, I'm 24 years old and I live in Los Angeles, and I have been trying to make it. I have been making it out here, actually. I've been on my own since I was 18, and I have done so many different things. I've gone through so many different things in my life. I've had so many different jobs and like career paths and things that I've wanted to do. And so last year was kind of last year was a very important year for me, and it was also a very trying year for me. I lost myself for a long time. I lost myself pretty much almost all of last year. I didn't feel like myself. I had gained a lot of weight. I was not feeling the best about myself. I was underperforming in a lot of ways in the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, like I got a promotion at work, and then I was like working a lot more, and then I was like starting to feel like stuck, and like maybe I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, and then there was just all of this doubt and all of this fear and all this anxiety like building up in me, and it caused me to really take life so seriously, and to take it seriously in a way where if I don't get exactly where I want to go, like my life is over. And if I don't do all the things that I want to do, and like because I'm not as skinny as I used to be, or because I'm not as like spontaneous as I used to be, like I'm not good enough. And like I just told myself all of these like negative things, and it really started to affect not only me but the people around me, and just I wasn't lit up anymore, you know. I had kind of lost my sparkle. You know, I know that sounds really cheesy, but I had kind of lost like the essence of who I am and who I believe God created me to be. You know, I've talked a lot about Iconic Beauty on here. When I first started my channel back in 2015, Iconic Beauty was like that catalyst that like started to spark something in me that I hadn't really, I knew was there, but like I hadn't really explored very much. And I was super into fitness, and I was getting into modeling, and like I was just so on fire about life, and like I had come across these beautiful people and like entered into these amazing friendships. And that kind of momentum like just continued on through 2016. I had an amazing year. 2017 had a really good year, and I think I started to kind of like digress a little bit after that, and I started to feel you know, like I didn't have as much spark. I had gone through different things in 2017 that had caused some I guess doubt, and I just wasn't feeling my best, you know, and I chose to ignore it. I chose to like quiet that voice that was like, you need to take a step back and like do what you got to do. And I just kept trying to go full force and like overwhelmed myself with a lot of things. And the reason that I share all of this and like there were so many signs. Like if I go back at my social media and I go back to my captions and like remembering how I was feeling in those times, and like even if I go back and watch some videos that I had posted last year or the year before, I could kind of see my fire like start to die down a little bit, and I didn't notice like what was happening. And unfortunately, I had to get to a place where I really started to lose other things to understand like the like severity of where I was, and just like also how dumb I was about things. And like, not that I'm a dumb person, but just like how when you're in a place where you don't feel good about yourself and you forget that you have a purpose, and you forget that like you were created for a reason, and like there is an impact, and there is something that you're supposed to do in the world, when you forget that, like it's kind of weird, because you know, if you feel like you have this like powerful purpose and like you have all of these things that you're supposed to do, you would think that you take life really, really seriously then. But for me, it was the opposite. It was like kind of like I had forgotten everything that I was created to be and everything that I was intended to be. And so now it was like every single little thing, every little minuscule thing like got to me and bothered me, and was just like could take my mood from like here to here. And I started to let myself be really affected and really impacted by like my circumstances. But what's crazy is that every single year since I was 18, every single year that I've grown up, I have grown in so many ways, you know. My income has increased every single year, like my intelligence, my knowledge, like my experience, all of these things have increased. But what went down for me last year was my belief in myself and my belief in the bigger picture and bigger purpose for my life. So because I was living in this world where like, here's my world, here's everything in it, so every single thing that happens to me in this little bubble, in this little circle, is like make or break. And that's just not true. Like, I now having to really take a step back and like retro analyze everything, man, I wish I could take so many things back. I wish that I would have like been so much more spontaneous and so much more fun loving and so much like more energetic, and like just taken life a little less seriously, because I think I treated I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I think I treated life as like a competition or like a comparison. And like, I'm 24, you know, I still have so much life to live and so much ahead of me and so much to do here on this earth. And I think I forgot that everything I'm going through and everything that I'm doing and every single step that I'm taking is going to lead me to my ultimate dream and my ultimate purpose. And you know, I distanced myself from a lot of things and a lot of people that really made me who I am. And one of those things being my faith. I was not really going to church. I was praying, but like almost like cynical about my faith. And that was a really dangerous place for me to be, because now just diving back into my journey, I guess, my walk with God, I'm like, wow, how did I ever get through any day in my life without so much prayer and faith and courage and strength? And I guess I kind of forgot who I was and whose I was, or whose I am. You know, I let myself become so, you know, like I can't even say I had people in my life criticizing me, because I don't think that I did. I think I was my own worst enemy and my own, you know, critic of where I'm at in my life. I wasn't at a place where I was healthy physically and I was judging myself for it instead of changing it. And I wasn't at a place where I was like happy about myself and I wasn't doing anything to change it. I was just like, oh my gosh, why do you talk like this to yourself every day? Like making myself feel worse about feeling bad about myself. I kind of wallowed a little bit. And so coming to this realization, I think it's important for me to share that, because I just want to apologize to anybody that had to witness me feeling and being less of myself than who I was. And I'm apologizing because I know that I have had so much more to offer and so much more to give than I have put out there. And that's not been fair for myself or for anybody around me. And I am a constant work in progress, and I know that, you know, God is doing his work in me every single day, and I'm continuing to seek my purpose, and I know that everything is going to work out as he intends it to be. But I guess I wanted to share that it's okay to recognize the role that you play in your own. Oh my gosh, my dogs, they will not shut up. Okay. I think it's important to recognize your own contribution to like your own setbacks and your own hindrances. Sometimes we're the only ones like blocking ourselves from growth. Once I realized that like I was hindering my own happiness and I was like hindering my own energy and like bringing myself down, and I decided to stop doing that. Like today's February 12th, and I think I would say back in November, I kind of got a little bit more serious about my physical health, and probably in like middle of like December, end of December, I started to, I kind of hit like rock bottom towards that time, and then picked myself up from there. And in the past 7 weeks, in the past 2 months, I've lost 14 pounds. I have read so many more books. I have done so many devotionals, and I just feel so much more myself, and I feel like a better version of myself than I have in a really long time. And I know I don't look the best I've ever looked on here before. I mean, I look a little bit more fit if I do say so myself. But I feel so much more whole in here. And I'm still going through things. I'm still, you know, there are still things that I need to work out, and I still have pain, you know, and I still have struggles that I go through just like every single person, but I don't feel overwhelmed by them in a way that I don't have this faith and this trust that everything is gonna turn out exactly how it's supposed to. And I think sometimes we get overwhelmed with like the wondering of like what the future is gonna bring, that we like, that's all we think about is we stress out about the future, and we stress out about where we're supposed to be, and we stress out about what's next, instead of just enjoying life right now and enjoying the sweetness of it. Like there are so many beautiful things that happen in your everyday life, and there are so many moments, God, I did not want to like get emotional, but there's so many moments that happen every single day, whether it's like your niece or your nephew getting excited to see you, or your dog getting excited to see you, or like somebody complimenting you, or having a moment like with your partner, or getting, you know, praised at work, or, you know, making a really big accomplishment in your career, or I don't know, like whatever it is that you're doing every day in life, and things that, you know, you've been waiting for to happen, and they finally come, and you're like, oh, finally, instead of being like, thank God, like I'm so grateful for this. And the little things, they matter so much more than what's happening tomorrow, you know? Like I've always been a planner, and I've always been somebody who wants to know like what's next, but that's great, and it's a characteristic of myself that I really am proud of, because I think it's important to be focused on what's next, but I also just so much more now than I ever have see how important it is to never take a single day or a single sweet moment for granted, because there is going to come a time in your life where that's all you want, is to just relive that one moment that you didn't really appreciate in that time. So I don't want to like make this a sad video. I want this to be really happy, and I want this to be just a reminder, I guess, that life happens and you don't always feel your best, but once you see yourself on that, like, once you start to have like a negative thought, or once you start to kind of like judge yourself, or you be too hard on yourself, just remember that you are not your own, you know, like you have a bigger purpose. And that is the good news. The good news is that it's not even in your hands. It's not even really in your control. Like, you are destined to live a big and beautiful life. And while you're the one that needs to wake yourself up and get up and, you know, be your own motivation every single day, as long as you do that, and as long as you show up, and as long as you're committed to that, you know, God is never going to keep what's meant for you from you. You're never going to miss, you know, your blessings. They're always going to come as long as you're putting in the work. And as long as you have that faith and you're putting in the work, you know, you're going to get there even faster. So just don't forget who you are. Don't lose your core. I know it's the beginning of the year and everyone's so focused on, you know, getting ahead. Everyone wants to get to the next level of their life. Oh God. And the next level of your life is coming, and it's there, and it's going to be big, and it's going to be beautiful, and it is going to be so magical and so rewarding. And I'm so proud of like so many of my friends who are just constantly like breaking barriers and like becoming more and more successful. And I just see so much happening every single day on social media, and it makes me so happy. And I know that sometimes that can get overwhelming, and you're constantly like comparing your life to other people's, but yours is gonna come as long as you are committed and you have that desire, and you know, you pray about it and you ask God to give you the strength, and you ask for the wisdom, and like you put in the work, and you do the research, and you read the books, and you follow the right people, you're gonna get your, you know, your ultimate dream and your success, and you're going to be happy. And don't stress yourself out about that. You know, I think anxiety sometimes can be a really difficult thing to deal with, but you always have to remember that anxiety stems from fear, and fear can only happen where there's no faith. Where faith does not exist, that's where fear moves in. And if you can just, you stop for a minute when you start to get anxious or nervous, or you know, you start to like be hard on yourself or feel like you're not doing enough, you got to understand that like you're not in control at that moment, and step back and, you know, pray, ask God to just take that away from you, and do something productive. You know, go run, or go, you know, talk to a friend who always motivates you, and just watch your energy, watch, you know, what you're putting out there, and just focus on what makes you feel good about you again. And I know this video kind of went everywhere, but I hope you guys catch what I'm trying to say. Just, you know, enjoy life for what it is right now. And as long as you're working, as long as you're believing, as long as you are committed, your vision for your life is going to come to fruition, and it's going to happen in the most divine timing. So feels really good to say all of that, and to hopefully provide some sort of like relatability to you. And yeah, I don't know, 2019, it's here, it's happening, I feel good about it. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but thanks for watching.